Welcome to the ARC Alliance's Bridges in the Community television program. My name is Casey Sewell, and I will be your host today. The ARC Alliance was established in 1951 by a group of concerned parents, and today we remain a family-focused charitable organization that provides a variety of supports and services to individuals and their families, including early intervention services supporting children from birth to age 3, advocacy, supports coordination, guardianship and representative payee services, and a variety of individual and family-focused support groups and programs. For more information, check out our website at www.thearcalliance.org. Today, we will be joined by Jessica Wagaman, our Executive Director of Advocacy Services, Robert Feliciani, our Chief Legal Officer, who runs our Guardianship Services Department, and Nancy Stimson, our Executive Director of Children's Services. We will be discussing exactly what each department does and what positions are currently available. All right, so now we are joined by Jessica. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
So if we could start, if you could introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you came to the ARC and how long you've been with the ARC.
So my name is Jessica Wagaman. I'm the Executive Director of the ARC Alliance Advocacy Services. I've been with the ARC for a little over 5 years now. Prior to that, I actually worked for another similar agency that provided supports coordination for over 10 years in Philadelphia. And prior to that, I had a slew of different experience in the field, if it was working in rehab centers or even back to my childhood with my dad, who ran a shelter workshop. And I happened to be there a lot and spend a lot of time with individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So that's kind of where I got my passion.
Okay, great. So I guess you have a couple open positions in your department right now?
Right now, the advocacy services, we provide supports coordination for individuals with intellectual or developmental disabilities. We're very similar to like case management, where we're trying to locate and coordinate supports in the community. That might be through the 3 Medicaid waivers that our individuals are eligible for. Again, a lot of our individuals do not have funding though, and we're trying to access maybe community resources or other funding systems to assist them with whatever their wants and needs are at that time. Another big role of ours as supports coordinators is we monitor people's health and safety. So prior to COVID, we were going into people's homes, their day programs, places of employment, to see how everything's going, to make sure that they're getting the supports that they need and also that they're healthy and safe. So right now we are currently hiring for supports coordinator positions. We do serve 6 different counties. So we have openings in several different counties right now. We have 4 openings in Montgomery County. We have 1 in Philadelphia. And then we're also hiring for what's called an intake coordinator. The intake coordinator is the one that gets set up with individuals when they first come into our system and are deemed appropriate to receive supports coordination. They will help introduce the family, assess their needs, and figure out exactly what they need. And then at that point, they will turn it over to the permanent supports coordinator. So we are hiring for an intake coordinator as well.
Great. So what does an average day look like for a supports coordinator and an intake coordinator?
I think average day can vary a lot. Again, we are dealing with individuals' lives. The caseloads vary anywhere from 40 to 55 individuals. So each day can look a little different. A lot of times it's meeting with the team to assess the individual's need, try to coordinate and figure out different services that we can provide for that individual. Again, looking at funding, access to staffing, making sure that when we do set up supports for whatever provider that is going to provide maybe residential supports or day program supports or in-home supports, that we're making sure that that provider has the staffing, the funding, and is meeting the goals of the individual and what the team has set. So a lot of it is coordinating and kind of locating those services. But also, unfortunately, with any kind of human service job or social work job, there are some paperwork that comes with it. So the day can kind of vary depending on, what's going on. A lot of times it's meeting with the individual or team members to, monitor their health and safety, but also to, make sure that we're following up with anything that's needed. But on the other part, there is some paperwork involved. Prior to COVID, we were going into everyone's homes or their day programs or school or place of employment. Since COVID, we have been doing majority of our job remotely via Zoom, whatever it may be. And we have gone out to some people's homes depending on the need, but most of it has been remote right now.
Great. And what are the educational requirements for those positions?
Supports coordinator is required, and this requirement is set by the state to have at least a bachelor's degree with 12 human service credits.
Okay, and that's the same for the intake coordinator?
That's the same, yep, for the intake
Perfect.
coordinator as well.
Great. So what advice do you have to anyone pursuing a career in supports coordination? And what do you think are the key attributes that a potential candidate would need to have to be successful in this field?
I actually started my career off as a supports coordinator, and I will tell you it can be a very rewarding position. You're helping a lot of individuals and families, but you're also learning so much, and not just about the intellectual and developmental disability field, but you start to learn about other systems. If it's the mental health, substance abuse, if it's children and youth, if it's the insurance, Medicaid, Medicare, you start to learn a lot, and it is a great position for someone that does want to stay in the social service field and make a career out of it. This is definitely a position where they can learn a lot, and there's a lot of room for growth. As I mentioned, I started as a supports coordinator, and now I'm the executive director of an SCO. So, there's definitely a lot of opportunity for growth within the system as well.
Great. So you talk about it being, a very rewarding field. Are there any success stories that you'd like to share?
Or, probably too many to share. Just a few. One recently that we actually posted on our website and Facebook page that you'll have to check out is one of our supports coordinators actually assisted an individual in getting her citizenship. So this was a long time goal of hers. And if it wasn't for the supports coordinator and all the work that she did to help assist that individual and their family, the individual just recently got her citizenship the end of December. So that was something really fun to celebrate. Other success stories, we've helped so many individuals live their best life. Maybe they were stuck at home, not doing anything. They had graduated years ago and they're kind of losing all their skills from school. And we've helped these individuals get a job in the community, live on their own with maybe minimum support. We've helped them gain an independent life and live their best life possible. And there is just so many different success stories that we could share. But there's just so many, amazing things about this job, and the impact that you can have on individuals and their families' lives is just absolutely amazing.
When I was speaking with Nancy, she was saying that there were, some of the children that she was working with in early intervention would then move up and they would receive support from sports coordination.
Yes. So we actually have quite a few individuals that went through our early intervention program and now is getting supports coordination through us. And again, just to mention with supports coordination, it's from birth to end of life. So there is no age limit for supports coordination. So we do have a lot of individuals that go through our early intervention program and then get hooked up with our supports coordination, which is great because, we can continue that relationship and make sure that, we're supporting and know that individual as best as possible so that if something does arise in their life and they need support, we're ready to go.
Awesome. So why have you been at the ARC Alliance as long as you have? Why is it such a great place to work?
To be quite honest, it's the individuals that we work with, the individuals with the intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families, but also the staff. We have the best staff, and it has shined even more through COVID, just how amazing our staff are. They're very dedicated. They're hardworking. A lot of times, they do put the individual's, needs ahead of their own. They are dedicated to making sure that these individuals live the best life possible. And a lot of our staff have connections. They either have a child themselves with that special needs, or a family member, or, they've, worked in other agencies similar to this, and they just love it so much that they wanted to come over to the ARC. The ARC is a family first agency. We are here to support not just our individuals, but our staff as well.
Amazing. Great. Well, is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience, community, or someone who's possibly considering pursuing a career at the ARC Alliance?
I just think the ARC is such a great place to work. We are very supportive of each other. I say it's my second family. We really do work well together. We work well as a team, and we do support our staff as best as possible. And again, like I said, we have such amazing people that work at the ARC. You definitely wouldn't regret it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jessica. I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with me today.
Casey.
Thank you. All right, so we are joined by Robert Feliciani. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Casey. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
All right, Robert. So if you could start by introducing yourself, telling us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been with the ARC.
My name is Robert Feliciani. I am the Executive Director and Chief Legal Officer of the ARC Alliance Guardianship Services. I've been with the ARC in my current role for 3 years. I've also served on the various boards at the company for over a decade. So that's how I got here.
And what brought you to the ARC Alliance?
I believe in their mission of serving individuals with disabilities. I'm a practicing attorney. In my private practice, I represented guardians and individuals with disabilities for the majority of my practice. So that's what drew me to the ARC.
Awesome. So you are in charge of the guardianship department.
I am. So our guardianship department represents individuals that have been adjudicated incapacitated by a court. We represent clients in numerous counties in southeastern Pennsylvania. We also provide representative payee services for individuals with intellectual disabilities and other disabilities that aren't able to receive their Social Security income on their own.
Okay. And I believe you have a couple open positions for guardianship. Is that correct?
We do. We currently have 3 open positions. One is the representative payee coordinator. Representative payee coordinator basically manages our clients' finances and pays all their bills on a monthly basis. So they receive all the monthly invoices from various vendors, make sure our clients have adequate funds, and pay all of our clients' bills. They help them budget their money. So once a year, they typically will set a budget for the person, given their income and expenses, and help them manage their day-to-day, spending and expenses. That position is open, and we're looking to fill it with someone who has some fiscal background, maybe in bookkeeping, or have managed finances for a business. It is high contact with the client, and it's also, monetary based. So background in banking, fiscal, bookkeeping, all would be helpful for that position. I also have 2 guardianship positions open. One is guardian fiduciary. Our guardian fiduciary specialist manages all of our clients who are under guardianship, their assets. That person makes sure that we are in compliance with all court orders, that all spending for each of those clients matches what we're authorized to spend under the court order in Pennsylvania law. They are responsible for preparing and filing all annual reports to the court for each of those clients. They also handle requests for expenditures from each of those clients and work in conjunction with the rep payee coordinator to make sure that appropriate expenses are paid and that we are following all the court orders. This person should have, again, a background in fiscal, bookkeeping, experience managing other people's money, as they're in a fiduciary position and they are responsible for others' monies. The last position we have open is a guardian caseworker. Our guardian caseworkers are responsible for basically the day-to-day life of our clients. So medical appointments, making sure their housing is adequate, visitation with our clients, making sure our clients are safe, healthy, happy, and have all their needs met. They also have to arrange for care for our clients. So if our clients need in-home care or other services, that individual would make sure that all of those services are put into place. This person typically has a background in social work, maybe the medical field, such as certified nursing assistant, or other medical positions are all helpful. And that position is open as well.
Perfect, thank you. And then what are the educational requirements for these positions?
Sure. In each of the position, a college degree is helpful. It is not needed, however. A relevant experience would serve to replace any college degrees. Typically, these individuals have working experience. And for the two financial positions in the fiscal world, like I said, banking, rep payee before, or some sort of fiduciary role at another financial institution. And our caseworkers typically have a background in social work, whether they have bachelor's degrees or not. They typically have some experience working in social work.
Perfect. And what is the most important thing that you would want any potential candidate to know about working in guardianship?
I think the most important thing they should know, and probably the most important trait they should have, is flexibility. Our days we try to plan our days, but it is a little bit of a hectic world. So you must be flexible, able to change and move on the fly, and kind of put a smile on regardless of how difficult a day might be. That's the most important characteristic, flexibility.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much, Robert, for joining us today and giving us all that information.
Thanks, Casey. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, so lastly, we are joined by Nancy Stimson. Nancy, thank you for being here today.
Good morning, Casey.
Good morning. And so if you could just take a little time to introduce yourself, how long you've been with the ARC, what brought you to the ARC, and a little bit about your department.
Sure. So I've been with the ARC for almost 28 years. Funny little story, actually. I started with the ARC because my sister worked here. I was in between jobs. The receptionist was going on an 8-week safari, and they needed someone to cover. So my sister called and said, "Hey, Nance, you're not doing anything this summer. Do you want to cover for this receptionist?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. Why not?" So I covered for the receptionist for the 8 weeks and have been here ever since. Been from the receptionist to the administrative assistant. I was in fiscal. I was in personnel. And then they asked me to cover in early intervention. So then that led me down the early intervention road. I've been with early intervention probably half of my career with the ARC Alliance. I've seen a lot of changes with early intervention. When I started early intervention, worked with our little guys, first to 3. Parents would bring them to a classroom. The OT, PT, speech teacher would work with them in the classroom. The parents would all scurry back to our little coffee room. They would all chit chat while we worked with their child. It then transitioned to taking that classroom into the home. Mom kind of sat on the couch. OT, PT, speech teacher would work with the child and have like their own little classroom in the household. Still not quite where it needed to be. So then it has morphed into probably the best coaching model we've had since I've been in early intervention. It really empowers the parent now. We are coaching the parent. The parent is saying to us what the concerns are that they have with their child. They then try and figure out the easiest way, right? You want to lose weight, you want to get in shape. All of those programs that you try to do, unless it's part of your day and unless it's easy to do, aren't usually successful. Coaching
Absolutely.
in early intervention is exactly that, making it so that it's successful, empowering the parent to make those decisions. So if you want your child to stand and you have laundry to do, what are you going to do? Open that dryer, right? Have that child prop up while you're folding that laundry, to make it just part of your day, so that it's not one more thing that you have to do in your day. Our therapists are in the home. Of course, the last couple of years, it's been a lot of virtual that we've been doing. Some families love that virtual model. Some families don't appreciate the virtual model. They want the therapist in their home. And then we have everything in between. Some of our therapists do a hybrid model where they might go out to the home once a month and do the other services virtually. We try to make it as convenient as possible for our families.
Wow. Okay. So you really have worked in almost every area of the ARC Alliance.
Yeah, which it's kind of interesting. I mean, I couldn't go back. Things have changed so dramatically in all of those positions, but it really does give me an overall understanding of what our agency does and where we've come from. You know, we've come from very humble beginnings, parents that just wanted to advocate to get what their children needed, and very proud of what our agency has done over the years.
Absolutely. So I believe you have an open position right now, correct?
We do. We have an open teaching position, full-time. We do serve Chester, Montgomery, and Berks counties. We're really looking for someone who can kind of border that little nook of Chester County, a little bit in Montgomery County, and if they could do a little bit of Berks County also, that would be awesome. Teaching requires to have a 4-year degree. You have to have a degree in early childhood, family services. If you don't have a degree in either of those and have 15 credits in your degree that has to do with child development, and have a year of experience with children with disabilities, we can look at your resume for that. We have a great staff that is here to support new people that are coming in. Early intervention is definitely a world in itself. You don't go into a classroom and have people there to help support you. You're out in it, in the field. And we've been very cognizant of that and try to really hook you up with some seasoned people that you can work with, and they can kind of mentor you. So
Perfect.
we're desperately looking for a teacher. We do contracting positions also, for OT, PT, speech, social work. If you're a licensed person and you're looking to do some work, either 100%, let's jump all in, all the way down to, hey, my kids are still young, I'm at home, I just need to see a couple hours. Can I just pick up a couple of kids? And we have that too. So it's an awesome opportunity if you want to get your toe wet and see, you know, what's out there.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today, and sharing all that information.
Thanks, Casey.
Thank
Hopefully we'll get some resumes in.
I hope so.
Go the ARC Alliance.
Thank you for joining us today for what I hope was an informative and beneficial program. If anyone wants to be involved to help the ARC Alliance achieve its mission, if we can be of any assistance to you, or if you have any additional questions, please feel free to contact us through our website or by calling us at 610-265-4700. We look forward to being with you again on BCTV next month, and have a great day.